What's up with y'all? I swear, the older you get, the longer blemishes stay on your face. Anyway, motherfucking, it's been a couple of days, been about a week. I went to Alabama, place where you can get lost and never found. The woods is so different in Alabama compared to anywhere where they got woods. The woods in Alabama is different. It's a lot thicker in Alabama, even though they're doing a lot of construction and taking away a lot of countryside. The woods is it's still different there. Now I ain't never been to the Ozarks. I know I think you can come up missing there too. But Alabama's got a lot of history and probably more so than the Ozarks with civil rights and all that stuff. You can come up missing. It's like Harlem. Harlem has a lot of history with civil rights and black progress and stuff like that. But Tulsa's not woods like Alabama. You come up missing in Harlem too, but it's the same deal. You know, just like New Jersey and Georgia's pretty much the same biome. There's a lot of water. There's a lot of there's hills. You know, there's valleys. The terrain is the same, pretty much. New Jersey and we both got Hoboken. I think we the only places that got Hoboken. But yeah, New Jersey and Georgia's similar. But man, these kids is really into soccer these days. Crazy, but like I heard someone say, America, if we played soccer, we'd be the best in the world. I think if you took every top player from around the world, though, they would beat America for a couple years anyway. You know, maybe in 50, maybe not in my lifetime, we won't catch up. I don't think so. We won't catch up with the rest of the world. I be thinking about the kind of content you got to make on Facebook. It's got to be different. It's got to be different because you got your friends and family on there. I don't even know if it's content. I'm just saying, like, being on camera, it's got to be different on Facebook. It's got to be because people who make content for Facebook, they're not big on YouTube or they're not big on Instagram. There's a certain kind of thing you do on Facebook. And you know, you hear people talking about, oh, it's old people and they don't know what's real and what's fake. But beyond that, you know what I mean? Beyond that, who's really watching on Facebook? You don't assume kids are. You just assume kids is on TikTok, Snapchat. If I was to make content on Facebook, what would it look like? What would I do? I just got done cutting grass, man. Cutting grass. I'm looking at this garden thing that's broken. I never made garden. I guess I did kind of make garden content at some point because I used to be a lot more into plants. And I remember I read books from Susan Weed, and I made tinctures and infusions for a long time. And I learned all the plants that was around me. Then we moved, and I ain't really been into it. I ain't even been into picking dandelions and drying them out. I can still identify some plants, and that's cool. And I'm always doing garden stuff for my mom. Constantly watering stuff, planting stuff, cleaning stuff, cleaning out fountains, bird feeders. Hummingbirds is her big thing, so. And I used to be like, damn, we shouldn't feed these hummingbirds sugar because that's just pure sugar. That they can't live off of that. And if so, like, don't they give up their normal food if we do that? And I don't know. I think the birds, it's probably like humans. You're smart enough to know when you need to eat something. Something. But I did make that kind of content for a while. Shit, there was a time I had 2,500 followers on Instagram. 2,500 followers on Instagram. To me, that was a lot. But all I used to do is just turn on my camera and give like advice based on a little bit of life that I have lived. There's nothing spectacular at all. It's nothing, but I would do that and some people would like me, and I figured out that some people were cheating in that sphere of, I guess you would call it woke content, is what I used to make. But like within that sphere of woke content where you're talking about health and you're talking about some kind of conspiracies and you're talking about ancient wisdom and applying all of that, to me it's advice. I don't know what other people called it, but just for the sake of other people, I just call it woke. And just historical stuff, it's just shit. And but I learned that people cheat within that sphere. People was buying views. And I'm like, huh? People put out misinformation on purpose. Like, you could show them they're wrong and they'll still put it out. People steal information. I mean, I don't know what this sector is actually called. If it was called consciousness, a conscious community, I guess that's what it was. But I had gained a little following on there, and then I nuked the channel. I just got tired of it, the Instagram page. But I don't know what I would do on Facebook. I don't have any friends on there that I knew in real life. I have family that I know in real life, but the page I had with all my friends, I took away because I noticed like they're not as real as the way I know they are. Like in certain situations, growing up in high school and middle school and stuff. Like my old friends are probably the same, my old friends. But hell, you never know when they're gonna ask you for money. But no, I mean, like, they're never as real as you know they can be, because they've proven it to you, and that's why you were friends with them, and back in the day. But when life becomes life and you have to work a job and you have to kiss people's ass and you have to put on a fake voice, fake, and do everything, you just realize people are not as real as you know they can be. And so that's why I had to do that. Even my best friends, I think we're both scared that we can't be who we once were. Like we're afraid of time in some kind of way. You know. Not like we spent too much time apart. It's just that like you want the times when it was real to be real again. And it's like they say you never get the time back. So it's like the time belongs to someone else. It don't really belong to you. And that's really why my Facebook is like that. I don't have none of my friends that I knew in real life. I got army people I knew in real life, family, and then everyone else is just people from the internet. Literally, like everyone else is just people from the internet. And those followers I had on Instagram, I talked to some of them personally online and everything. But there was really only one that I would like to actually keep up with. One or two. Three. Instagram is probably the hardest place to make content. It looks easy, but it's probably the hardest place. TikTok, I wouldn't even consider it because to me, all the views on TikTok are fake. I don't be on there, so I don't engage with people enough to know. Twitter is just really crazy. That's really, really crazy. I wouldn't even try. If Twitter had like gambling, I probably would use it. But they'd have to make it like gambling on social things. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of the content now has to do with gambling anyway. It's like people prank you and then they get on their phone and show that they're gambling. So it's incorporated in everything. If they could find a way to do it on Twitter, it'd be interesting. Not just like sports, but like social issues, politics, gambling and politics. That'd be interesting. It'd probably actually it probably actually would improve race relations. So a lot of people wouldn't be able to play the race card. You know, when gambling is on the line, people wise up when gambling is around. Other than that, man, I'm just being a fake neighbor to all my neighbors. A fake neighbor. It's like as real as you are. The moment you change who you are, you're fake. To your neighbors anyway. The moment you change who you are. It's like I got a racist neighbor. If he were to stop doing that, I'd think he's fake. You know. I got a neighbor. I got police neighbors. And the moment they stop doing that, I'm gonna think they're fake. I'm gonna be like, what are y'all doing? You're still a police at heart, you know what I mean? Don't try to lie to me. I wouldn't believe it. We got a neighbor who people say he's a drug dealer. I don't think he's a drug dealer. He just thugged out. But the moment he, stopped blasting his music, the moment he stops driving his hood cars, I'm gonna be like, what's up? What's going on? Like we had a neighbor who was flying the black, I guess it's like a Pan-African American flag, because it has like the Marcus Garvey colors, green, but it looks like the American flag. I don't know what, how there's the cop flag and people support the cop. Well, there's a black flag for that. Or maybe it's like an African American flag, or maybe it's like the whatever, Black Power American flag. But they only flew it for like a few days. And I was like, did you want people to talk to you about that, or did you want to talk to them about it, or what? What was actually the statement that you was trying to make with that? And they probably felt fake within that. You know what I mean? Like, let me stop playing around. I'm a good neighbor. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not bucking the system. I'm not crunk. Let me take it down. Let me just be cool. And now it's just Dallas Cowboy stuff, regular American shit. You know what I mean? So fake neighbor. That's just what you are. You're just a fake neighbor. It's very important that you're a neighbor because it's in the Bible. It says something about putting your neighbors before your friends and stuff like that. Or, I don't know, it's in the commandments somewhere. It's very important to be a good neighbor. And then they throw that State Farm in there and try to misdirect you. They really just want you to be greedy and selfish and stingy. Like the Liberty insurance. I always say niggardly because niggardly is a word and it means being greedy and selfish. Anyway, man, these long ass, don't nobody want to watch these long ass videos. I had a girl tell me, you need to get mad in your videos within the first few seconds. I remember, like, if you curse within the first few seconds of your videos, it would be demonetized. That was the big thing on YouTube. If you curse within the first few seconds. But no, I do. I don't talk to all my neighbors. I don't have a problem talking to my neighbors. I just don't talk to all of them. I hang out with the people that I go racing with. They have a drag race car. They have a few drag race cars, and their family, they all race. I do that. And I go with them to the race, and I help them out. They pay me. Money hasn't come between us yet. So. I had this girl that came with us to the race one time, and she swore up and down I was flirting with her. She actually had dudes from the racetrack all on her, and like she's like me. She don't know how to get people off of her when they come on you. When they basically insert themselves. But no, like, she don't know how to get people off her when they're on you, and that's just how it is. Like, we don't know how to reject romantic. We don't know how to reject romantic advances. I mean, obviously we do. We know what personal space is, but then again, like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but we just don't know how to reject romantic advances. And I saw that was happening to her, and I was like, I just let her know that I understood what was going on. It's not like we were inviting romantic stuff, but we're not exactly we don't exactly have a repulsive kind of aura, or like an offensive aura, but we don't have a low aura either. It's just like, I don't know what it is. It's not like a victimhood thing either. I don't know what it is. But anyway, I wasn't flirting with her, and she felt like I was. And she asked me to do something at church with her son because she doesn't have a dad. The son doesn't have a dad. And I don't believe in charity. But I said yes. And I ended up signing up for this church thing where they had to check your background and stuff, and I went to it once or twice, and it's just like any other job. She ends up showing her true colors and how she can get annoyed with somebody who has anything to inject, or any kind of conjecture right on top of what she's trying to teach the kids. Not that I'm saying anything in opposition of what she's saying. It's just a weird thing. It's just a control thing. And I ain't sweat it, you know what I mean? But let's just say if I wanted to stress somebody out, I could. If I wanted to stress her out because she was teaching, and I'm thinking like, you're not as good at your job as you think you are, so I could stress her out if I wanted to, but no. Anyway, we end up going to a race in North Carolina, and she got an Airbnb for us to stay in while the family, my neighbors, stayed at a hotel. And she was trying to come on to me, and I ignored it. And she after that, she asked me to go to Florida with her, and I gave her some reasons why I didn't want to go to Florida. Like, my ex-wife lives in Florida, and it was just kind of too soon for us to go somewhere, even as friends, because it looks like we're being more than friends. And I didn't tell her that until it was too late. Like, at first I told her, yeah, sure, let's go. And then when I finally told her, she had already bought the tickets and it was too late. So I owe her money now for tickets that she bought, and I didn't go to Florida. And I told her I would pay money on the Airbnb, and I never did at the racetrack. I thought she forgot about it, so I didn't say anything until, I made her mad enough to remember it, and she brought it up. So I owe her money for 2 things. And I didn't talk to her for months after that, but I recently talked to her again, and me and this woman now, we have kind of entered a relationship. So we'll see how it goes. She's really into church. She's really into charity. I don't particularly believe in either one, to be quite honest. I think that charity is some kind of alien technology that we don't have control of. Charity, like, it's an alien technology that we're not in control of. It can exist, but how do we prove that charity exists when they've been telling us to donate to Africa for 50 years and they're still asking for money? These places never stop asking for money. But somehow, like, when you have what do they call this shit? Non-profit organizations. How is that real? It's just a way to make people feel guilty. So I don't know how shady this woman is. Like I said, I'm the one who turned her down after after she was being nice to me and everything. And she said, thank you for not treating her like a, she said, thank you for not treating me like a single mother and treating me like a normal person. I'm just a fake neighbor. Like, that's it. That's easy. Anyway, I'll probably make this 30 minutes. That's what I used to do on my YouTube videos. I used to make them 30 minutes like a show. But yeah, like I've seen her do charity for people who didn't even really want it, and it's like, it's weird. It's weird. Like people who didn't even want it, and you know, something that I learned about giving is, well, number one, when you give something to somebody, you don't have any rules for it. Like people say, I'm gonna give a person food, but I'm not gonna give them money because they'll buy liquor. Okay, but you don't give someone money and then tell them what to buy with it either. You know what I mean? So there's no rules to giving. Santa Claus makes rules, you know what I mean? But that's because Santa Claus knows who's naughty and nice. But and then the other thing I learned is sometimes it takes more to give than to receive. You know, like not takes more, but like sometimes it sometimes you give to someone and it means a lot more to you than it does to them. Now, I said that about the woman and how people didn't actually want her charity, but she did it. But I didn't really get the idea that she was doing it because it was good for her. I really did not get that kind of energy. I didn't get the energy that she was doing it for a selfish reason either, but it was all around just kind of low energy. Not sure what to make of it. But yeah, 30-minute show. A lot of rambling. I guess if I did make content for Facebook, it would probably be more direct. I had to be talking to someone because it's Facebook after all. But yeah, I mean, this woman is a Jew by birth, but she's a Christian in her walking life. And I think the odd thing is a lot of the Old Testament stuff is being more prominent in Christian lives today. Maybe that's because people feel like there ain't no hope. Or they feel like we're going backwards in time. And I used to be like that. I used to think that the New Testament must be full of shit because it says you can do whatever you want, but I'm changing my opinion on that. I'm changing my opinion on that. And all the Muslim stuff, I don't really know what to make of that. I think all the religions are true. Anyway, Holler at y'all later.